whenever you do something, you have to think about it. Like, what's next? And me, I'm this guy. I'm always like, okay, what's next? Like, I'm doing Club Shada right now. But in my head, I'm like, in 5 years. What I'm doing right now, it's it counts, but it doesn't matter to me as what it, like, how many people are watching, how many, like, I know every show has between concurrent people watching, usually around 20 to 30 people at the same time watching, and usually a whole show, a 2-3 hour show, has more in one night, usually around 300 people. And then usually the next day, there's all the people who watch in the morning, that's another 300 people. And then after that, the shows, they live their life. And some people just discover Club Shada today and they start watching a lot of episodes. Some people, they just watch live. Some people, they only watch the replays. It depends. But what is great is that every episode you do is you add to a catalog. And it's only after a few years that you realize, okay, now you have something that is generating revenue, that is generating what it's supposed to do, and you have like 300 concurrent viewers and people donating in super chat. Of course, you can donate super chats whenever you want, like right now, and you now make, like, I don't know, every week thousands of euros of super chat. All these things, it takes a lot of time, and a lot of people, especially in the world of today, a lot of people are in the lack of attention. People say the attention economy, but I'm starting to call it the lack of attention economy. People don't have attention. People don't have attention span. People don't have memory. People don't have, like, most of us. We watch so much photos on Instagram that none of us remember the first photo we saw this morning. None of us. And tomorrow there's another bunch of photos. You see what I mean? Hey, Chris. And a lot of people are part of this thing where another thing that people have is, because of everybody's wired for instant gratification, most people, they don't take the time to make things work. They don't take the time to let things, let things become what they have to become. And they want right now money, right now success, right now, where I'm the type of person, and maybe because I've been in the business of creating content long enough, I'm the type of person that takes the time to build things. And it's for example, back in 2007, I was making a lot of money doing shows. I had like 2 shows every week minimum. I was taking the plane a minimum 8 times every month, minimum. And I could have just been there doing all my shows and making everything for this to never stop. But I was saying to myself, okay, what is next? Like, I have these albums, people love my songs, but people more and more, every time I do a song like One Love, every time I do a song like Something Going On, every time I do a song like On Dit Quoi, Love de Toi, Fiona, Motema, Diamonds, every time I do those songs, people, they kind of stop in those songs. They are like, One Love is my song, and then from you, they only have another 5 slots, because One Love will stay forever their song for this. And then once you did 6 songs, so Love de Toi, Bien plus fort que mes mots, One Love, Fiona, something going on, for example, or Question My Heart. Once you have done these 5 songs, in the heart of the person, there's no more space for you. You are now the singer of those songs, and everything else you will do, it's not that they don't appreciate, it's just that there's no more space. So you're going to start doing new songs, and the people are still asking you to come perform and to sing the same songs. And then you get frustrated because every time you do new songs, you are hoping to get the same success as the old songs, and you don't. And it's not because your songs are not nice. It's just because people have, for people, you are that person of that thing. And then in your age group, you just become the person who sang those songs. It doesn't mean that in the next 20 years you cannot do some new songs. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you have to understand how humans work, and how, most of the time you're gonna have 1 or 2 shots. And when you are like me and you have the chance to have 20 songs like this that are timeless songs, and you keep having songs that are working, you have to start work. You're gonna perform for another. So it was 2007. So I was still going to perform for another 10 years at that time. And it's around 2017 that my shows start decreasing in terms of, what up, Pete? I'll do it. Buy low, sell high. So at that time, I didn't know, of course, but I still had 10 years. I still had 10 years where I would have shows every week for the next 10 years, plus successes in production and stuff. But that's when I start doing singles and working for just online content. That's when I started really like pushing vlogs on my YouTube channel, pushing singles on iTunes. At that time, it was before Spotify, so it was a lot of singles on iTunes. And I started not releasing music only when I had albums, but also releasing music just out of nowhere. And maybe as I started also the first covers, and I start creating revenue on the side. And I remember at that time, I was making much more money from shows and producing other artists than online. But I was still starting to make, a little 300 every month. And then I was like, that's very interesting, because the money from the online is more steady. It comes, it's recurrent, it's passive. You don't have to do anything. You just have to have songs, and every month there's going to be like 300. And at that time, that was not main money for me. It was just after like 8 months, I would look, oh, there's 5,000 now. Okay, let me cash in. But I would let it there and forget about it while I was doing other things. See what I mean? So what I do for Future Sound. And at that time, I start really focusing on creating that content. YouTube content, music content, singles. I I created all my other names, Gianamari, Diamantero, Monsieur de Shada, and I started like pushing music out. And everybody was like, what, why are you doing this? This is useless. Oh, you do music without music videos, like that. And I was like, nah, guys, I'm creating a catalog and I'm working on growth. I'm really working on creating more and more and more and more content for the future. And most people didn't understand what I was doing. And around 2012, I was now generating 1,200 euros from music content every month, and I was generating maybe 1,000 euros from YouTube content every month. So I was already like, okay, when there's no show, I know I'm paying my rent. I know I'm okay. And then I start working, and I was like, I was setting myself goals. I was like, okay, at the end of this year, I have to make 3,000 per month from that content. Then I was like, hey, I have to do 5,000. Then I have to, et cetera, et cetera. And until today, I'm still setting goals. Every time I reach a level, I consolidate and I'm going to the next. But what is the most important is the fact that I never stopped to look at my content strategy. I never stopped to look at it in a form of, oh, how many people are watching? Oh my God, only 15 people? Oh, it's not working. No, I was like, one more song, one more vlog, one more episode. And it's only when the show started going down and I was starting to do it. And of course, I moved to another country. So I couldn't do like shows in France like before, when, people don't have a problem paying you a train or a plane to go to south of France. But when it's to go to Portugal, sometimes they're like, oh, the ticket is too much, which makes no sense. But that was exactly the kind of thing that were frustrating me, that most of these people are always trying to pay you less and less and less money, and you don't control because it's their money. And in my head, I was like, no, I want to focus and put my energy on something that I can control. And by the time my show started decreasing in numbers, and I started having only one show a month, one show every 2 months, etc., that's when I started making more money from my online content than making money from going around the world and performing. Of course, you make more money, like even if your cachet is 1,000, you're gonna make more money. You're gonna make money faster by doing 1,000, of course, because it's 45 minutes of a show. Take the plane, blah, 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 blah. You go somewhere, you go to Holland, for example. So you have 2 hours of flight, you land, you go to the hotel, you sleep, you wake up at 2 a.m., you arrive to the club at 2:30, you perform at 3, at 4, you at the hotel with 1,000 euros. So that's, and you back home the next day. 10 a.m., you at home, chilling, and you have 1,000. So 48 hours, you make 1,000. That's amazing. But when you are in the beginning of your career, you're gonna make these 1,000 very easy, because a lot of people are calling you. Everybody wants to see you. All the clubs want to have you because everybody's asking for you, and you are the thing of the moment. But 20 years later, you're in your 40s, and you're not new anymore, because by definition, everybody is new only one time.